What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we got the brand new fusion for the month of October. Her name is Maranix.
Damn!
She is a Force Affinity Legendary from the Dark Elf faction, and she looks pretty badass, if I do say so myself. So before I get started on the actual kit, I want to say that I really like the change and the added additions to the infographics here. So they actually added the modifiers here to the abilities, and I'm pretty stoked about it. I like it. So good job, Plarium. I love it. Now all we need is the multipliers. Can you guys do that too? You know, because I think the multipliers matter. We all know that. Like, what is an A1 and A2 and A3 without the modifiers and the multipliers, right? Like, we need that information before we can really judge the kit. But let's go over the kit anyways. We got Reaper's Due. Attacks one enemy 2 times, has a 50% chance to place up to 2 extra hits, and each hit is calculated individually if the target is under a hex debuff. So that's up to a 4-hitter. Pretty nice. Automatically screams some Fire Knight. The A2 is Excruciate. Attacks all enemies. Has a 75% chance of placing a hex debuff and a 60% chance of adding a decreased defense debuff for 2 turns as well. That goes starting with a 4-turn cooldown, and you could book it down to a 3-turn cooldown and a 100% chance to land. Now, I believe the only other champions in the game that have Hex and decreased defense are Thylesia and Rule the Huntsmaster. Thylesia has a decreased defense on an AoE, and it does not have the Hex on it, so it's like a double up on that one. And then she can place the Hex if a target under decreased defense attacks her, I'm pretty sure. So it's a little weird. Definitely not like the best way to place it. And then Rule has the decreased defense on the A1, which is single target, so it doesn't quite work as an AoE the same way. I like the A2. Seems pretty nice. We got to see the multipliers on that for sure. Definitely set up the Hex debuff for you. For the A3, Inexorable End. Attacks all enemies, will ignore unkillable buffs and shield buffs if targets are under a Hex debuff. Places an unkillable buff in this champion for 1 turn if this attack kills an enemy without a Hex debuff. Places an unkillable buff for 2 turns instead if this attack kills an enemy under a Hex debuff. And that goes down to a 4-turn cooldown when booked. Alright, so this A3 seems like it could be really good in the arena. We got a couple champions in the game that will ignore unkillable and shields. And since we just got the bolster set in the game, it seems imperative now more than ever to be able to kill somebody through a shield. We got champs like Deathhound, Faceless, Mortu Macabre, you know, all that could do stuff like this. The very nice ability. Now, I do see the unkillable buff on this champion here. Basically, is just a bonus thing. It's like an extra thing, kind of a cherry on the top. It's not something that sounds like it's going to be reliable for the arena or anywhere else. You got champions like Lurius the Proud, Skullcrown. Basically, when they reach a certain HP threshold, it's going to trigger the unkillable 100% of the time, which is, you know, guaranteed. This is not guaranteed. This needs somebody to die. So again, we need to see the multipliers. This could be like a humongous hitter. We don't know. But at the same time, I'm not going to rely on that unkillable buff. I'm not even going to care about it or even pretend like it's there. When it triggers, it'll trigger, and when it doesn't, you know, I'm not going to be surprised by that because I'm not relying on it, like I said. So again, that's just one of those things. It's kind of like an added bonus, but it's nothing I'm going to rely on. The real meat and potatoes of the A3 is that ignore unkillable and shield if targets are under a Hex debuff. So, you know, whether you use the A2 to set up the Hex for the A3, or somebody else like Rule the Huntmaster, or Cleoptrix, or Thea the Tomb Angel, you know, that's up to you. Last but not least, we got Death's Collector passive skill. Resets the cooldown of the Inexorable End skill whenever this champion kills an enemy under a Hex debuff. Increases this champion's attack by 5% for each enemy under a Hex debuff. So I suppose that the big deal is not the reset cooldown, but mainly the attack boost there. And, you know, in the arena, it's going to give you 20% if you get all 4 Hex debuffs on. It's going to give you a little bit more extra damage for sure. 20% is not nothing to sneeze at, but it's not a ton either. Spider Fight, you got 11 enemies there. That could be a lot. You know, that could boost it up a lot. So, you know, I'm not sure how she'll function in Spider Fight or anywhere else like that, but I mean, I'm already looking at her like she could be a cool champion for the Fire Knight and possibly the arena. That's where I'm going to be looking to possibly use this champion. So Those are probably the areas I'll build her for the most. We'll probably go with a Savage set or something like that. I mean, it really got to depend on basically where we're using her. But like I said, the arena could be an option, and faction wars is pretty obvious. If you need someone for faction wars there, you can put her there. Like I said, Fire Knight seems pretty good. A lot of people sometimes recommend to skip fusions and fragment summons, stuff like that, depending on who the champion is and what their skill kit is doing, and like they rate them, based off of how useful it could be to the account. Her, for me, like for the arena, unless she's going to be like a top tier nuker, I think most people have a better nuker at this point, unless she's going to be groundbreaking, So I don't see her, being a big option there for a lot of people, unless you're looking for a nuker. Then, I mean, obviously it's going to be a huge get for you. Congratulations. So she looks like she can be a nice nuker for the arena, and it could be used in some other places. I think the A2 with the Hex and decreased defense is pretty nice because, I mean, basically you can use her as a AoE decreased defense person down. Then you got the Hex as like an added bonus. So, I mean, that's cool, right? Obviously, it's not like Ghostborn where you can place it. So, I mean, it has its downsides as well. But as far as the faction goes, I leveled a ton of Dark Elves up to beat that faction. The faction War Stage Crypt 21. And if she's going to help you out there, I mean, like, you could use some help, like, for sure. Because they were, man, that was just a brutal one for me. And it might not be the hardest one in the game, or even relatively speaking, a hardest one for you in the game. But I had some trouble with that one. That was a rough one for me. Took me a while to beat it. Anyways, that's it for today's video. This is the brand new champion, Maranix, for the month of October. This is our, I suppose, Halloween fusion. Looks pretty cool. I really like her, the way she looks. Her outfit is amazing. But at the same time, I'm not sure about this kit yet. I'm definitely going to fuse her. I would never recommend not to fuse a champion because you never know what they'll do to them in the future, or even what these multipliers are, or what else. So I'm definitely going to fuse her, and I'll see if she can find a place somewhere for me. I'm not that hopeful, but at the same time, I would really like to make like a Hex team that actually works. And the more the merrier. I do have Cleoptrix, I do have Thea, I do have Rule. So I've got basically all the Hex champions, Mithrala, So I definitely want to try her out, add her to the mix, see if she's viable, and we'll find out. We'll try her out. So you guys have a great day. You guys take it easy. Also, shout out to all the people that were in the path of Hurricane Ian. It was disastrous, catastrophic. Prayers up to you guys. I hope you guys are safe. I hope you guys are not too affected by the hurricane's damage. And you guys take it easy. Have a great day. Peace.